What's up, everybody? Dr. JP Guidry here. I wanted to shoot a short video here and talk a little bit about some things that aren't really new to us knowledge wise, but maybe have become more in the forefront given the current situation we're in with coronavirus. Um, and these are the ideas that, you know, that have always been around, knowledge that's always been around, but we've always known that things like low activity levels, poor nutritional habits, high stress, excuse me, have always contributed to certain disease processes such as type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, obesity, chronic pain, and many more health issues. Um, and these have just and these things have always put those that have them at a higher risk of hospitalization, sickness, um, um, decreased function, poor quality of life, and even death. It has now just become more acutely aware because the extreme nature of this virus we're dealing with and just the overall effect that it's having. All of these at-risk patients that have always been at risk are just now more acutely at risk because of the spread of this virus. And so, uh, you know, the, the unfortunate nature of this situation, the reality of it is, there will be deaths, there will be jobs lost, there will be businesses that can't recover. And so I don't want to downplay any of that, and I'm in the middle of all of that from a business standpoint, financial standpoint, like everybody else, and just trying to weather the storm and figure out how to get through this and understand that things will not probably ever be the same as they were before all this, which, I don't think is necessarily a bad thing from especially from a healthcare standpoint. Um, but it's just, it's going to be a new normal. And, my hope is with saying all of that, my hope is that if there is any type of silver lining to this, which the reality is it's here, we're living in it. That's not going to change anytime soon. If there is any silver lining to this, it's that maybe it wakes us up more as a society to these health issues and to how we approach and how we treat our own health and our own and healthcare. How healthcare is delivered, how healthcare is consumed. And taking control of that as individuals, as a society, rather than relying on a system that is not designed for that, B, very imperfect, and C, already overstressed. We have you can say what you want about our healthcare system here, and there's a lot of issues with it. But, we do a very good job of saving people's lives. We do a very good job of extending people's lives with, severe disease process, traumatic injuries, things like that. We don't do a very good job of managing the lower level, more slower processing things that we talked about above. We don't take ownership of it enough as individuals, and as a healthcare system that is driven more by quantity over quality, and how medical practitioners are paid. We kind of tend to take the easiest route, which is prescribing a pill, maybe handing out some literature, having a quick conversation, and that's it. When reality is it goes much deeper than that, and it's not as easy as just telling someone that smokes they need to stop smoking, or someone that's overweight they need to lose weight, or they need to be more active or eat better. Most of us know that it's not anything new to us. And so these things, changing these habits require time, require effort from both the practitioner, the coach, whoever you're working with, and the client. And it's going to be an imperfect process of ups and downs and falling off and getting back on. And so you really need someone there by you every step of the way, rather than someone you see for 15 minutes, um, you know once every 6 months or once whatever. Even if you want to look at a PT frequency, 2 to 3 times a week, it still really leaves too much time on your own that you're not being followed up with. And so we can talk about the issues I have with that probably on another video. But the reality is our system, it just doesn't do a good job of managing this. And my goal with what I'm trying to put together with this lifelong athlete project is to approach this from a different way. From a healthcare standpoint, from a coaching standpoint, from a wellness standpoint, whatever you want to call this, um, put whatever label or term on it. Um, I want people to take ownership of their health, and my goal is to help them do that. And maybe from outside of the system approach. Um, and so I've got some more things coming down the pipeline, some um, more opportunities, more availability, more options for people. Right now I'm still, I have my online coaching, I have the telehealth options. Um, and so, just trying to build out more options and more opportunities uh, to make taking control of your health and well-being available to everyone, you know, regardless of your financial situation or your needs or your time or whatever. So just keep an eye out for that. I'm going to be, hopefully kind of hopping on here every day and sharing some new stuff and putting some stuff together in the next few weeks and putting that out. That's what I'm trying to spend my time now on. So to finish this up, the unfortunate thing about the shutdown is that it's now forcing us to kind of further go into that hole of inactivity, poor nutritional habits, and high stress. And so I want to issue a little challenge to you, and these are some things I've talked about before, to put into your practice every day. So number one is schedule your day every day. This has been huge for me, and although, I don't stick to my exact schedule more days than not, excuse me, it still has given me a guide and given me a framework to approach my day. And it made me more likely to get things done than not. Within that schedule is in scheduling your workouts, scheduling your meals, sticking to those, trying not to snack between your meals, and treat them as non-negotiable appointments, like you would any other important appointment, important meeting. And these are all good habits to do even when life returns back to normal. Number two is resistance train or work out 30 minutes a day. So maybe 3 to 4 days, some kind of resistance workout, whether that's body weight bands, dumbbells, whatever you have access to. And then maybe 2 to 3 days a week of kind of mobility based stuff, where you're just taking your body, your joints through ranges of motion, more of kind of a recovery day. On top of that, go for a daily walk outside, get some sunshine, clear your mind, listen to a book, listen to music, listen to a podcast. Not only is this good for your physical health, but also your mental well-being. And on that topic, prioritize your mental health. Meditate, pray, journal, positive affirmations, all these things out there. If you need help, find a counselor, find someone to talk to. This is probably my biggest struggle, is staying consistent with my mental health routine. I've always struggled with some degree of depression, anxiety most of my life, and it's no different, and definitely heightened during this time. And so it's even more important for me to be consistent with everything. And it's a struggle of mine. Working out is easy for me. I enjoy it. I do it. I don't have to think about it. Doing some of these other things is something I have to put more effort into. Next is take on a new hobby, a new skill, new side hustle, whatever that is, something you've put on the back burner, something you've been wanting to do that now, most of us have the time to do, and keeping your body active, your mind active, and keeping yourself occupied. Lastly, stay in contact with friends and family. The social distancing has kind of, turned our social world upside down. And as humans, we are social creatures. We kind of crave that social interaction. This is something I went through with whether I had the virus or not, don't know. Never really got tested, but when I was quarantined and with really no human contact for 10 plus days, other than kind of texting and calls and things like that. But it definitely got in my head, and my mind started going places I didn't like it. So do this not only for yourself, but do this to check in on others as well, especially if you know people that struggle with some of those issues. But send a text, send an email, make a phone call. This is something I've tried to kind of put into my day of having 10 to 20 conversations a day, and it may be something as simple as sending a text that says, "Hey, how are you?" or a Facebook message or whatever. But not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. And so just stay tuned for more, more to come out with my Lifelong Athlete project. Again, the premise behind this is more than just sports. It's about readiness. It's about preparedness. It's about, being capable of taking anything on, whether that's on the playing field, on the golf course, on the courts, or being able to garden, being able to travel, being able to play with your kids and grandkids, being able to get up and down off the ground, out of chairs, being resilient, just being able to have a long, quality, functional lifespan, and changing the way we approach healthcare and wellness, and trying to get people and keep people out of the system, as much as we can control. So as always, if you have any questions, definitely feel free to shoot me an email at johnpaul, JOHNPAUL @guidrypt.com. For more information on my services, you can go to guidrygolfandsport.com or guidrypt.com.